Thank you very much, Mr. Shirakawa. We have, I'm sure, many questions, but only a limited amount of time. So I will ask you to ask only one question, and no lecture, and come immediately with your question. The governor is allergic to lectures, and I would like to ask Ms. Takamatsu to tell our Japanese colleagues that they are welcome to ask questions also in Japanese to the governor. So who wants to ask the first question? Antonio. And before Anthony asks the question, I think the embargo will be lifted at the end of this session, but I would like our staff to start distributing, if it's possible, the written text of the governor. Thank you.
2つお伝えすることがございます。英語でも日本語でも質問をお受けいたします。日本語で質問が出た場合には通訳が入ります。さらに冒頭にご説明がございましたが、今日の記者会見の内容、スピーチとコメントは、この記者会見が終わるまでエンバーゴがかかっております。つまり記事は掲載できません。それだけよろしくお願いいたします。
Anthony Rowley, Singapore Business Times. Mr. Governor, the Special Asset Purchase Program of the Bank of Japan includes the ability to purchase some JGBs, Japanese government bonds. Why, given that the Bank of Japan already has the power to purchase Japanese government bonds, why was this included in the Special Asset Purchase Program? And is this a way of opening the door so that in future, if long-term interest rates do rise in Japan, you'll be able to raise the level of JGBs that the BOJ can purchase under that program?
Can you hear my voice? I think the people in this room are not familiar with our purchase of JGB. So before respond to your question, I'd like to explain what we are doing. First of all, the Bank of Japan is purchasing JGB by huge amount, which is much greater than that by the Federal Reserve. And this time around, we decided on embarking on so-called comprehensive monetary easing. Among these, the measures are purchasing JGBs, purchasing real estate trade funds, purchase of CP and corporate bonds. As for the reason why we decided on purchasing JGB is to encourage to lower the yield on JGBs. And we do not want to be seen as the central bank, which is financing the deficit of government. Given the very severe condition, given the very severe fiscal condition, if the Bank of Japan is regarded in the operation which finance government deficit, it is very detrimental.
Our colleague from the Economist. Can we try to fix the mic problem, or you don't mind to hold the mic, Mr.
Henry Trex from The Economist. Governor, I just want to ask you, you mentioned about how aging was having an impact on Japan's growth rate and trend growth rate. But I wondered if you could talk specifically about the way that aging and the elderly society may encourage deflation, in the sense that the elderly benefit from a kind of a deflationary premium, if you like. Could you explain to us all about that?
There are several channels. As I said in my speech, from supply side, it decreases supply capacity just because working population is now declining. From demand side, it affects the Japanese economy. First, the if growing demand, potential growing demand by elderly people is not satisfy the supply, then the overall impact on the economy is it depresses spending. And also the aging means that working age or young people burden if the same amount of benefit is maintained. Therefore, the younger generation or working generation expect that their future income will not increase that much. Through this rule, the spending will deplete. And the third channel is the change in economic policy, which is chosen by election. The aging means that the policy which favors elderly people are tended to be adopted, and in a certain way this affects the policy. So all in all, this decreases potential growth rate. Please.
Try to be short.
Benjamin Fulford, freelance. I know you have signed non-disclosure agreements, but I'm wondering if you could shed some light. I wonder if you could shed some light on the debate behind the scenes to replace the current fiat central banking model with a commodities and precious metal-backed model of the sort China's proposing.
In the middle of 19th century, the industrial countries adopted a gold standard, and the gold standard was maintained up until the 1930s. But it was abandoned because it cannot, it failed in delivering the stable growth, and there's a reason. Because in a gold standard or in commodity standard, the supply of money is constrained by the physical amount of metals in existence, which is inflation determined by technical factor, and it is lacking in flexibility. That's why it failed. Therefore, we moved to fiat currency system, and fiat currency system means that someone have to be responsible for controlling quantity of money, and that someone is central bank. And in this regard, central bank adopted various methodology. In the old days, the central bank adopted the money supply targeting. Then some central bank adopted efficient targeting. Then this time around, we found some shortcomings with efficient targeting. So we are, well, human beings are in a constant process of finding right model for the controlling the amount of money, and there's no panacea. But I believe in the wisdom of human beings, and basically central banks are trying to maintain price stability and financial stability. And after this global financial crisis, we central bankers are seriously discussing how monetary policy should be conducted. For example, if the inflation is subdued, despite the fact the asset market or commodity market are growing. And this is a challenge that we have to work hard.
Japanese TV colleague, no, after.
テレビ朝日の鈴木と申します。悟鈴木 with TV Asahi. At its press conference in Washington last Thursday, Chairman Bernanke of the Federal Reserve dismissed as unfair the criticism from China, Germany, and other countries that the Federal Reserve's aggressive unconventional easing has helped fuel the rapid increase in the commodity prices worldwide. Do you share his view, and how about Bank of Japan? Is there any adverse side effect from the Bank of Japan's easing, aggressive easing outside Japan?
Whenever I attend international meeting, I often hear this kind of discussion. In a sense, Japan is somewhere between the West and the East, and I understand both arguments. When Bank of Japan was conducting quantitative easing, we were often criticized by Asian central bank colleagues that Japan is creating so-called yen carry trade. And in that sense, what emerging market economies are now saying is understandable, given my past experience. But at the same time, when we received such criticism, I defended myself by presenting the same argument presented by Chairman Bernanke this time around. So in that sense, I understand both arguments. And but the situation has changed a bit, and now I understand this issue more deeply. And that's my in a sense the typical response by central banks, including the Chairman Bernanke, is quite understandable because they are aiming at stability of domestic economy, and that is all about central bank's monetary policy. Therefore, the action is quite legitimate. But at the same time, given that the balance sheet adjustment is ongoing, the route through which monetary easing can affect the economy is possibly through the rise in commodity prices or boom or the increase in productivity in emerging market economies. In that sense, the effect of monetary easing is to some extent exported to other countries. But at the same time, the emerging market, as Chairman Bernanke said, emerging market economy do have the weapons, instruments at its disposal to raise short-term interest rate or to adjust exchange rate. So both arguments are quite understandable. But what we have to bear in mind is that we are living in a world of becoming globalized financial market. We have to think more about the spillover of its own effect and ultimate feedback toward its own economy. And this remark applies to both industrial countries, including US, United States, and Japan, as well as emerging market economies. So, in a nutshell, what we have to bear in mind is we have to consider the both feedback, both spillover and feedback effect on both sides of the economy.
Sir.